Admiral Vexthal stood before the massive viewing screen of the Crack's flagship Inevitable Victory, his segmented carapace gleaming under the harsh artificial lights. The blue-green world filling the screen should have been unremarkable, just another primitive planet to be added to the Crack's harvest registry. Yet something about this Earth made his secondary antennae twitch with unease. Curious, he chittered softly, mandibles clicking as he addressed his science officer. Their orbital defense network is primitive. Basic satellites, minimal weaponry, no energy shields. Yet they maintain it with remarkable dedication. Science Officer Zixera moved forward, her crystalline data tablet projecting detailed scans of human civilization. The dominant species shows multiple contradictions. Admiral, they possess nuclear capabilities but haven't weaponized their entire planet. They've created artificial intelligence but still perform manual labor. They've mapped their own genome but haven't attempted significant genetic engineering. Weaklings, Combat Master Krulithak interjected from his battle station, his warrior caste markings pulsing with disdain. No natural armor, no venom glands, no redundant organs. Their fastest runner would be outpaced by a Crack's hatchling. Their strongest warrior couldn't bend metal with their bare hands like our weakest soldier. Vexthal raised a primary claw for silence, studying the data streams with all four of his eyes. The humans were physically unimpressive, true. Their cities seemed haphazard rather than planned, their technology a bizarre mix of sophisticated and crude. Yet something nagged at his centuries of experience. "Show me their conflicts," he ordered. "Their wars." The viewing screen filled with images of human warfare through the ages. Primitive at first, spears, swords, simple projectile weapons. But as the images progressed, Vexthal's unease grew. These humans, they adapted with frightening speed. Each war brought new technologies, new tactics. They learned from every failure, improved upon every success. They're resourceful, Zixera noted, her scientific detachment slipping slightly. They compensate for their physical limitations with tools. And she paused, double-checking her data. They seem to anticipate threats they've never encountered. The screen showed human entertainment now. Stories they told themselves about alien invasions, cosmic horrors, and interstellar wars. Vexthal watched as humans, in their imagination, fought threats that should have been beyond their comprehension. They prepare for us, he realized aloud. Not us specifically, but the idea of us. Every weakness they acknowledge, they work to overcome. Every threat they imagine, they devise countermeasures for. They're not just surviving. They're actively preparing for wars they haven't yet fought. Combat Master Krulithak's disdain faltered slightly. Surely you're not suggesting these soft creatures pose a genuine threat. Our bioscans confirm they're barely above prey status. The harvest will proceed as planned. Vexthal's upper eyes narrowed as he watched a human entertainment video about civilians resisting alien invaders. The tactics were crude, yes, but the underlying principles were sound. These humans understood asymmetric warfare, guerrilla tactics, the art of turning an enemy's strengths into weaknesses. We will proceed, he decided finally, but with caution. Full stealth protocols. No direct engagement until we've assessed their actual defensive capabilities. I want detailed scans of their military installations, communication networks, and civilian response protocols. Admiral, Zixera interjected, I'm detecting something odd about their global communication network. They appear to have multiple redundant systems, including numerous backup protocols that seem excessive for their technological level. Explain. They maintain ancient radio networks alongside their digital systems. They've hardened key infrastructure against electromagnetic pulses despite never experiencing a major attack of this type. They've even preserved pre-industrial manufacturing techniques and maintained seed vaults, as if they're expecting to lose access to their technology. Vexthal finished. They prepare for failure even as they advance. Fascinating. The Admiral turned to his combat master. Modified harvest protocols are now in effect. No mass landing. No display of force. We test their defenses first, carefully, methodically. I want to know exactly what we're dealing with before we commit our forces. As his officers rushed to comply, Vexthal continued studying the human entertainment videos. In one, a seemingly inferior human force was defeating a technologically superior alien invasion through creativity and determination. The Admiral's carapace tingled with ancient instincts his species hadn't needed for millennia. They were missing something. These humans, these supposedly primitive creatures, had survived and thrived on a death world that should have eliminated them eons ago. They had no natural weapons, yet they dominated their planet. They had no biological advantages, yet they expanded into every hostile environment their world possessed. "Send in the probe drones first," he ordered. "Let's see how they react to being watched before we show ourselves. Something tells me these humans might just surprise us." Little did Admiral Vexthal know, Earth's various space agencies had already detected his ship's presence, and in underground bunkers around the planet, military leaders were implementing protocols developed through decades of planning, preparation, and imagination. Humanity had been expecting visitors from the stars, and they had no intention of being anyone's prey. The first Krax probe entered Earth's atmosphere at 2:47 hours UTC, its stealth systems rendering it nearly invisible to conventional radar. Nearly. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Sarah Chen watched multicolored data streams flood her quantum detection array. The alien probe's attempt at stealth was impressive, but humanity had been preparing for this moment for over 50 years. Contact confirmed. She spoke into her secure comlink. Operation Lighthouse is a go. Around the globe, hidden facilities hummed to life. Satellite networks reconfigured themselves in seemingly random patterns designed to look like routine maintenance while actually creating a sophisticated detection grid. Underground bunkers that officially didn't exist began implementing protocols developed through decades of wargaming and theoretical analysis. Aboard the inevitable Victory, Admiral Vexthal received the probe's first transmission with growing confusion. "Impossible," he chittered. "The probe reports no detection, yet its sensor array is experiencing micro-interference patterns consistent with active scanning. Could their primitive systems be causing unintended interference?" Combat Master Krulthak suggested, still eager to begin the harvest. Science Officer Zixera's crystalline tablet displayed complex analytical patterns. "Negative. These interference patterns are structured. They're testing our capabilities. Each pattern probes a different aspect of our stealth technology. They're not supposed to know we're here." Vexthal's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of agitation. "Launched the secondary probe wave. Different approach vectors, varied stealth configurations. Let's see if this is merely a coincidence." On Earth, Sarah Chen smiled as her detection grid lit up with new contacts. "Just as the theoretical models predicted," she murmured. "They're testing us back." Her fingers flew across the haptic interface, implementing the next phase of humanity's long-prepared response. Across the planet, seemingly unrelated civilian systems began executing hidden protocols. Weather satellites adjusted their orbits by fractions of degrees. Telecommunications networks generated specific patterns of noise. Even the power grid fluctuated in ways that appeared natural but actually created a planet-wide sensor network. "Fascinating," Zixera reported aboard the Krax flagship. "The interference patterns are adapting to each probe's specific configuration. This cannot be random." Admiral Vexthal's carapace rippled with concern. "Show me their global communication traffic. Are they reacting to our presence?" The main screen filled with Earth's internet and broadcast traffic. Social media remained focused on celebrity gossip and cat videos. News networks reported on politics and local events. Nothing suggested a civilization aware of imminent alien contact. "Surface-level activities appear normal," Zixera confirmed. "But I'm detecting encrypted data streams buried in their regular communications. The encryption is unusual. It uses protocols we've never encountered." In her underground facility, Sarah Chen received confirmation that the alien vessel had accessed Earth's public networks. Right on schedule, she noted, sending a single encrypted command. Across the internet, hidden programs activated. Every cat video, every celebrity tweet, every seemingly mundane social media post began carrying encrypted military data, coordinating Earth's defenses while maintaining the appearance of normal human activity. Admiral, Combat Master Krulthak's warrior markings pulsed with frustration. We're wasting time. These primitives might have gotten lucky with some basic detection systems, but they remain physically inferior. Let me launch a small harvest team. We'll demonstrate their helplessness. And the ship's sensors screamed a sudden warning. In high orbit, a supposedly defunct weather satellite had just launched what appeared to be debris. The debris was on a precise intercept course, with their most sophisticated probe. Evasive action. Vexthal ordered, but it was too late. The human projectile struck the probe with surgical precision, its primitive kinetic energy enhanced by a gravitic field that shouldn't have been possible with Earth's technology level. Report. Probe destroyed. Zixera's professional detachment cracked slightly. The weapon. Admiral, it appears to incorporate principles similar to our own gravitic technology, but modified in ways our sensors can't fully analyze. In her command center, Sarah Chen watched the successful intercept with satisfaction. The destroyed probe would provide the aliens with just enough data to be concerning, while the gravitic weapon, reverse-engineered from a crashed alien ship decades ago, would raise very specific questions about humanity's capabilities. Admiral Vexthal stared at the debris analysis, all four eyes wide with disbelief. They shouldn't have this technology. They couldn't have developed it independently. Unless... Admiral, Zixera interrupted, her voice trembling slightly. I'm detecting energy signatures consistent with concealed defense platforms. They're everywhere, hidden in debris fields, disguised as communication satellites, powered down in seemingly random orbits. How many? Unknown. They're revealing themselves gradually, activating in patterns designed to. She paused, double-checking her analysis, designed to make it impossible to determine their full numbers or capabilities. Vexthal's secondary antennae went rigid as ancient instincts screamed warnings. These humans hadn't just gotten lucky with detecting their probes. They hadn't simply salvaged some advanced technology. This was a coordinated defensive strategy years in the making, perhaps decades or even centuries. Full retreat, he ordered. Get our probes out of their space. Now. Admiral, Combat Master Krulthak protested. They're still just. They're not just anything, Vexthal cut him off. They're prepared. They've been preparing for so long they've turned their entire civilization into a weapon. And they did it so carefully that we almost missed it. The harvest is canceled. As the Cracks probes withdrew, Sarah Chen sent her final report of the day. Phase 1 complete. The galaxy's greatest predators just learned they're not the only ones who know how to hunt. Admiral Vexthal had never run from prey before, yet here he was, ordering a tactical retreat from a species that by all physical measures should have been easy harvest. But the humans' response to their probes had shaken him to his core. Now, standing before the combined Cracks Military Council, he struggled to explain his decision. Counselors, he began, his carapace automatically shifting to formal presentation patterns. The Earth situation is unprecedented. These humans have somehow hidden their true technological capabilities behind a facade of primitive development. High Counselor Mexthar's bioluminescent markings pulsed with skepticism. You speak of impossibilities. Admiral, our long-range scans confirmed their technological level. They still burn fossil fuels. They haven't even colonized their own moon. That's just it, Counselor, Zixera interjected, stepping forward with her data tablet. We now believe what we observed was carefully crafted misdirection. Look at these energy readings from their lunar installations. The council chamber's holographic display filled with complex data patterns. Hidden beneath the moon's surface, vast networks of tunnels and chambers pulsed with energy signatures that shouldn't have existed. Impossible, Combat Master Krolvac exclaimed. These readings suggest quantum manipulation capabilities approaching our own. Exactly, Vexthal confirmed. But watch what happens when we analyze their publicly visible lunar facilities. The display shifted, showing only the simple solar panels and basic habitation modules visible on the moon's surface. Primitive technology, exactly what everyone expected to see. They're hiding, Zixera explained. Not just their capabilities, but their true nature. We thought they were prey species playing at being predators. We were wrong. They're predators who learn to appear as prey. Deep within Earth's lunar command, General Maya Rodriguez watched the Cracks Council meeting through quantum surveillance systems reverse-engineered from a dozen different alien technologies. Over the past century, humanity had recovered and studied crashed ships from multiple species, each time carefully hiding their discoveries behind a veneer of normal technological progression. They're finally starting to understand, she remarked to her international command staff. Initiate Phase 3. Across the solar system, hidden human installations began powering up. Bases carved into asteroids revealed advanced weapon systems. Seemingly empty regions of space shimmered as cloaking fields deactivated, exposing fleets of ships that combined human ingenuity with recovered alien technology. In the Cracks Council chamber, alarms blared. Multiple contacts. Combat Master Krolvac shouted. They're everywhere. How did we miss this? The holographic display showed human ships emerging throughout the solar system. But these weren't the primitive chemical rockets the Cracks had observed. These vessels bore the sleek lines of advanced engineering, their hulls incorporating technologies from half a dozen spacefaring races. Now we understand their strange entertainment videos, Zixera whispered. All those stories about alien invasions, they weren't preparing for a hypothetical threat. They were documenting their actual encounters and hiding the truth in plain sight. Admiral Vexthal watched as more human ships appeared, their design philosophies as varied as Earth's nations. American vessels bristled with weapons derived from aggressive species technology. Chinese ships displayed perfect implementations of defensive systems from more peaceful civilizations. European craft demonstrated impossible hybridizations of multiple alien technologies. They've been salvaging and studying crashed ships for generations, he realized aloud. Every time an alien vessel crashed on their world, they didn't just recover the technology. They learned, adapted, and improved upon it. And they hid their progress behind a carefully maintained image of primitive development. In Lunar Command, General Rodriguez opened a communication channel to the Cracks Council. The humans had known the location of every Cracks listening post, every surveillance device. They had simply waited for the right moment to reveal that knowledge. Greetings, Cracks High Council, her voice echoed through their chamber. We believe it's time for a proper introduction. Humanity has been aware of the greater galactic community for quite some time. We chose to remain apparently primitive while we prepared for this moment. The council chamber erupted in chaos as counselors realized the humans had been monitoring their supposedly secret meeting. High Counselor Mexthar's bioluminescence flickered with shock. Why reveal yourselves now? Admiral Vexthal asked, his military training helping him maintain composure. General Rodriguez's hologram appeared before them, her uniform bearing patches that demonstrated knowledge of multiple alien civilizations. Because you forced our hand, we were content to continue our quiet preparation, but your harvest fleet crossed a line. Consider this a friendly warning. Earth is not prey. We never were. As if to emphasize her point, more human ships decloaked, each incorporating technologies that should have been incompatible, yet somehow worked together in perfect harmony. The Cracks were not just facing a species that had hidden its advancement. They were facing one that had taken the best technologies from multiple civilizations and improved upon them all. We haven't survived on a death world for hundreds of thousands of years by being helpless Rodriguez continued. We fought our environment, ourselves, and yes, the occasional alien visitor. Each time, we've grown stronger. So, shall we discuss terms for peaceful coexistence, or would you prefer a demonstration of just how well we've learned to hunt? The Crack's High Council chamber had fallen into stunned silence. Before them, the holographic display showed something that should have been impossible. Human ships were systematically disabling their entire defense network without firing a single shot. How are they doing this? Combat Master Krulfak demanded, his warrior markings pulsing erratically. Our systems are being deactivated by our own command codes. Science Officer Zixera's crystalline tablet displayed streams of data that made her appendages tremble. They're not just using our codes, they're using improved versions of our own technology against us. Each human ship seems to be equipped with countermeasures specifically designed for crack systems. From her position in Lunar Command, General Rodriguez watched the Crack's leadership grapple with their new reality. Decades of careful preparation were finally paying off. Every crashed alien ship, every intercepted transmission, every piece of salvage technology had been studied, reverse engineered, and improved upon. The humans hadn't just learned from their visitors, they had surpassed them. Perhaps, she addressed the Crack's Council, you'd like to see what else we've been working on while maintaining our primitive facade. At her signal, human ships throughout the solar system activated new systems. Quantum fields rippled through space, temporarily disrupting the Crack's advanced sensors. When the disruption cleared, the Council faced an even more shocking sight. Impossible, High Counselor Mexthar whispered. Those are Zrylak phase drives, and hegemon quantum shields. And, is that a modified Nexus targeting array? Correct on all counts, Rodriguez confirmed, though we've made some improvements to the original designs. You see, while various species were busy dismissing us as primitive, we were learning from all of them. Every crashed ship, every failed invasion attempt, every piece of debris that fell to Earth, they all taught us something valuable. Admiral Vexthal watched as human vessels demonstrated capabilities that shouldn't have existed in the same ship. Technologies that should have been incompatible worked in perfect harmony. The humans hadn't just collected advanced technology. They had mastered it, improved it, and found ways to make different alien systems work together. Your stealth systems, for example, Rodriguez continued, gesturing to a display showing detailed schematics of Crack's technology. Brilliant design, but limited by traditional Crack's thinking. We found that by incorporating Zrylak phase technology and hegemon quantum principles, we could improve their efficiency by roughly 300%. The council chamber erupted in shocked chittering as human ships demonstrated exactly that, appearing and disappearing at will, completely invisible to even the most advanced Crack sensors. And your weapons, she added, as several human vessels positioned themselves near key Crack's defense installations. Extremely powerful, but with a predictable energy signature. We developed countermeasures years ago, after studying debris from a Crack scout ship that crashed in what humans call the Tunguska event. To prove her point, the human ships emitted precise energy pulses that caused Crack's weapon systems to simply power down, their advanced targeting systems rendered useless by frequencies they had never been designed to resist. This is more than just technology, Admiral Vexthal realized aloud. You've been preparing for this exact scenario, studying us, learning our weaknesses, developing specific countermeasures. Of course we have. Rodriguez smiled. We've been doing that with every spacefaring species we've encountered. Did you think all those crashed ships over the years were accidents? Some were, others were, helped along. Once we developed the capability, we needed to study different technologies after all. The implications hit the Crack's Council like a physical blow. Humanity hadn't just been hiding their advancement. They had been actively hunting for technological samples, deliberately downing ships when necessary, all while maintaining their appearance of primitive innocence. Your harvest protocol, Rodriguez continued, her tone hardening slightly, isn't the first time someone has tried to conquer Earth. It's not even the 100th time. The difference is, previous attempts helped us prepare for this moment. We've had decades to study Crack's technology, analyze your tactics, and develop countermeasures. Would you like to see them in action? As if to emphasize her point, human ships began executing maneuvers that should have been impossible, combining different alien technologies in ways that created entirely new capabilities. A Chinese vessel phased through a Crack's defense screen as if it wasn't there. An American ship redirected a Crack's energy beam back at its source using improved Hedgeman shields. A European craft demonstrated weapons that combined the principles of 3 different alien races. So, General Rodriguez's hologram faced the Council directly. Shall we discuss terms for peaceful coexistence? Or would you prefer a practical demonstration of everything we've learned about Crack's weaknesses over the past 70 years? In that moment, the Crack's High Council faced a horrifying realization. They hadn't discovered a new hunting ground. They had wandered into the territory of an apex predator that had been patiently waiting for them, studying them, and preparing to turn their own strengths against them. And somewhere in deep space, other alien civilizations were about to learn that the supposedly primitive humans had been quietly hunting them all along. One standard galactic month after the Crack's encounter, representatives from 17 spacefaring civilizations gathered in Earth's first public extraterrestrial embassy, a facility that had existed in secret beneath the Swiss Alps for over 50 years. Admiral Vexthal, now serving as the Crack's diplomatic liaison, found himself seated beside delegates from species that had once considered themselves the galaxy's apex predators. The Zrylak, with their phase technology, the Hedgeman, masters of quantum manipulation, the Nexus Collective, unrivaled in weapons development, all of them watching as General Rodriguez addressed the gathering. For centuries, she began standing at a podium crafted from materials salvaged from a dozen different alien vessels. Humanity maintained a careful facade of primitive development. This deception was necessary for our survival and preparation. Today, that pretense ends. The chamber's holographic displays activated, showing the true extent of human advancement. Hidden cities beneath Earth's oceans, bases throughout the solar system, fleets of ships combining technologies that most species considered incompatible. Many of you recognize your own technology in our achievements, Rodriguez continued. Some of you are probably calculating how many accidents and crashed ships were actually part of our acquisition program. You're right to be concerned, but also wrong about our intentions. She gestured, and the displays showed something new. Innovations that went beyond merely combining alien technology. Human innovations, improvements that none of the gathered species had conceived. We didn't just copy your achievements, she explained. We studied them, improved them, found ways to make different systems work together. While you saw us as primitive, we were evolving beyond anything you had imagined. The Zrylak delegate's crystalline form vibrated with distress. The phase drive modifications, they're not just more efficient, they're an entirely new approach to spatial manipulation. Precisely, Rodriguez nodded. By combining Zrylak phase principles with Hedgeman quantum theory and human innovation, we've developed technologies none of us could have created alone. This is what we want to discuss today. Admiral Vexthal's antennae twitched as understanding dawned. You're not announcing your superiority, he realized. You're proposing collaboration. Finally, someone understands. Rodriguez smiled. Yes, we could continue our solitary advancement. We could maintain our defensive posture, treating every other species as a potential threat. Or, the displays shifted again, showing plans for joint research facilities, collaborative defense initiatives, and combined fleet operations. We've learned something important during our centuries of preparation, Rodriguez continued. Every species here has unique strengths, unique approaches to technology, to problem solving, to survival. Imagine what we could achieve together, now that there's no need for pretense. The Hedgeman representative's quantum matrix pulsed with interest. You propose an alliance? After centuries of secretly hunting our technology, We propose something more, Rodriguez corrected. A new approach to galactic civilization. One where we all acknowledge both our strengths and our weaknesses. Where we learn from each other openly, rather than through subterfuge and conflict. The chamber filled with murmurs as delegates processed the implications. Humanity hadn't just been playing prey while secretly becoming a predator. They had transcended the entire predator-prey dynamic. Consider the evidence before you. Rodriguez gestured to the displays. Every species here has tried to master space travel alone. Every civilization has jealously guarded its technological secrets. And where has that gotten us? A galaxy full of species treating each other as either threats or potential conquests. She paused, letting her words sink in. Humanity spent centuries appearing weak while preparing for war. Now we're strong enough to propose peace. Real peace based on mutual respect and collaboration. Admiral Vexthal found himself rising to address the gathering. The humans have demonstrated something remarkable, he declared. They could have used their accumulated knowledge to dominate us all. Instead, they're offering to share what they've learned, including, I suspect, their unique talent for combining different approaches to create something greater. The chamber erupted in discussion as delegates realized the full implications. Humanity wasn't just revealing their true capabilities. They were offering to teach their method of technological synthesis, their ability to take different species' innovations and make them work together in ways their original creators never imagined. The choice is yours, Rodriguez concluded. We can maintain the old order of predator and prey, of isolated advancement and inevitable conflict, or we can forge something new, a galactic community where strength comes not from domination, but from collaboration. One by one, the delegates signaled their agreement. Even the most aggressive species had seen the wisdom in humanity's proposal. They had all witnessed what humans could achieve alone. The potential of working together was too compelling to ignore. As the historic meeting concluded, Admiral Vexthal approached General Rodriguez. You know, he chittered softly, when we first detected Earth, we thought we'd found easy prey. Instead, we found teachers. Rodriguez smiled. That's the final lesson humanity learned during our long preparation. True strength isn't about being the greatest predator. It's about moving beyond the need to be predators at all. High above Earth, ships from 17 different species began joint maneuvers, their crews learning to work together. The age of isolation was over. The galaxy's predators had learned a new way to hunt, not for dominance, but for knowledge. And humanity, the species that had perfected the art of appearing weak while growing strong, would show them the way.